Sky, this is no doubt the best looking guest maybe we've ever had at Puck Sports here on YouTube. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast, you can't see him, but it's the handsome, it's the talented. It's Adam Jude of the Seattle Times. What up, Jude? How are you?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me in my my debut here on Puck Sports. I've been listening. I've been a dedicated listener. I'm giving you the 5 stars, trying to provide some thumb support as much as possible, and it's off to a great start. So congrats on this, man.
Yeah. Well, I could take you provide me some thumb support a lot of different ways, but I'm not gonna.
Thank you. Let's move on.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go that. Do you want to talk about the Seahawks draft, or do you want to talk about Little League?
Man, Little League. So we're moved on, actually. So we moved on with my son. He's 13 now. We've aged out of Little League, but we're circling back. My daughter's 8, and so we're digging into softball, and she's loving it. So she's my little she's my little Babe Ruth lefty swinger. She is just mashing, and she loves pitching already, lefty. And so I'm like, okay, here we go again. So that's been fun, man. And
so get ready. Get ready for all the chants. Because there's nothing like a good softball chant.
She's the loudest too. We're always like, okay, kiddo. Love that you're providing support for your teammates. Take it down just a little bit. But now we're starting all over. Again, as you've been through, you're right in the middle of it. That Little League cycle, and you get to know these families and these kids so well, and then by the end of it, you're kind of like, all right, ready to move on, a little Little League drama, and here we are circling back. So it's good.
The baseball is crazy when it gets to me. Son's 10, and you've gone through it now. Just that level of play is just getting crazier and crazier. It's cool to watch, though.
It's worth it. It really is, and all the work you put into it as a coach. And I heard you talking about the other day, just your sore arm all the time. You can't sleep on your right side for years because your arm's so damn sore. I got a dead arm. Yeah, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. So you almost have to follow your own advice. You tell the kids to do all the exercises. Our favorite one is Mustard app. Tom House, the former Mariners pitcher, he's the most renowned throwing coach in the world. He worked with Tom Brady. He's worked with Nolan Ryan. He worked with pitchers forever. He's developed this app, and he does all these. If you're seeing my weird motions now, but it makes the kids look totally insane as they're running out in the field doing these things too. But we love them. I look up the Mustard app, and I'd promote it for anyone out there.
Mustard app. I'm driving it. Yeah.
It's awesome for young pitchers, all these exercises, all the arm care stuff, especially with all the news and stuff out there. I love it, and we're really dedicated to that. So that's
I love it. Wait, we could talk hours about that. Let's talk let's talk about the draft. You were there enjoying the media meal provided there by the Seahawks, and Jude, it fell perfectly to them. I mean, maybe they wanted to trade down, right? But I mean, when they get there and then Byron Murphy's staring at them, they're like, well, we've got to take him.
Yeah. Or maybe they wanted to trade up too. Some rumblings, right, about going after Penix. But at the end of the day, John Schneider still found a way to shock us all and just stay there and take the obvious pick, something he really has never done in 15 drafts now. Yeah. So it's hard to say. It's not a home run pick right there, especially at 16. The way the draft played out for these guys. My dad said to me a couple weeks ago, it'd be great if they get that Byron Murphy. That's the guy I really want. I'm like, I don't think he'll last that long. I don't get your hopes up, Pops. And he was the first to text me. He was so excited and perfect. Again, exactly what you need. And then when Schneider's asked afterwards, is there one guy you'd compare him to? And he gave a long pause and then dropped an Aaron Donald. And he said, look, first ballot Hall of Famer. We're not comparing the production, but just more the stature, the size, the build, and all that. Heck, man, that's a great place to start for sure.
Well, he does look like him for sure.
He does.
I mean, the whole body. Well, I mean, just everything that he just looks almost because he's not fat. I mean, it's all muscle.
Yeah, Aaron Donald is his own beast though, so it's a tough comp for anybody to try and live up to. But again, just the build and again, what made Aaron Donald special for so many years was just his insane strength and drive and all that too. And it just seemed like he had about 2% body fat for a guy 300 pounds. But again, just with where this defense has been, we've all seen it the last couple of years. Yeah. And that middle of that defensive line needed some serious help. And here you go. They got the best guy available.
It's just terrible. I mean, their rush defense has just been awful for a while. So, I mean, I love the pick. Yeah. Now, the biggest question will be this, because there was a report, I think it was James Palmer, that came out like right afterwards. Mm-hmm. I think was the first one to say, or maybe the only one, that, hey, there were several teams, including the Seahawks, Saints and Raiders, that wanted to move up in the top 10 and grab Michael Penix. So it's obvious if that report is true, and who's to doubt James Palmer?
Right.
If he was there at 16, they were going to take him. Don't you think?
Sounds like it. Yeah, sounds like it. And again, just with he's been playing in your backyard the last couple of years. Incredible production, incredible arm talent, incredible guy. The more you talk to people around UW and hear about Michael Penix and just what he was able to do, like that team just rallied around him. I think he was the consummate quarterback, and that guys wanted to play for him. Guys wanted to play hard for him. And then he went and found them all too. You think about wide receivers and the talent that they had in that room. It could have been some drama at times because, three great quarterbacks with NFL talent, all wanting the ball. He was able to distribute to all of them. They all got their numbers. They all got their flowers. And for him to be able to kind of thread that needle literally in some ways, I think was awesome. And so, again, and then you bring in Ryan Grubb. They didn't have to do their homework. He had it all. No one had better insight than Ryan Grubb on Michael Penix. So, yeah, I would not have been shocked if he had fallen, if the Seahawks would have taken him. But the closer we got to draft day, the closer we got to the first round Thursday night, it certainly didn't sound like he was going to fall, and he didn't. That was obviously the biggest shocker, that not that he went in the top 10, but that he went to Atlanta. Some of the media drama that from the fallout with Kirk Cousins in his camp a little bit there was pretty surprising. But I do feel like long-term that's a really good landing spot for Michael Penix with how many first-round picks have they spent the last 4 or 5 years on offensive talent. So he's got a good situation where he can kind of parachute in there. There's no pressure of the next year or two to be the guy. He can learn from a veteran quarterback. He can grow in the NFL, and then obviously if Atlanta plays its cards right, they can kind of have the Green Bay Packers situation where he steps right in and he's the guy and he takes off there. But yeah, no doubt, I think the Seahawks and John Schneider were kind of open about that the last week or so publicly, that could have been their situation too, with Geno Smith. And yeah, they went and got Sam Howell and spent the 3rd round pick on him, but you can never have too many good quarterbacks, right? Maybe that's just a signal that John Schneider is sort of shifting his focus, his thinking a little bit here in this new era, taking over, but didn't quite play out that way. It would have cost a lot to move into the top 10, of course. And I think John Schneider, the one thing we know about him is he does value his picks. And if it would have cost, next year's first round pick or a couple first round picks in the future, that's just too high of a cost to make that move.
When you think of Atlanta, and I'm with you, I think with the talent they have with Pitts, with Drake London, with Bijan Robinson, I mean, my God, that has the potential to be a damn scary offense. What I don't understand about it, the more I think about it, they spent $100 million guaranteed on Kirk Cousins. He's their quarterback for 2 years. They cannot get out of that deal unless they're going to just say, we'll just eat the money. I mean, if they get out of it before 25, I mean, it's a $40 million cap hit. He has a no trade clause. So now maybe he'll waive it if they can find a trade for him. And what I don't get is the appeal, right, Jude, of drafting a young quarterback is they get a rookie contract. You're not paying him anything for the most part. Well, if he sits for 2 years, you're not even taking advantage of it.
It's the best asset in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Is a good quarterback, a starting quarterback on a rookie salary. That said, what could be better than that? Well, it's a good quarterback, good starting quarterback on a rookie salary. And so at least you have that for 2, and then if you pick up the option on that 5th year, it's still a valuable asset. And again, we saw Bill Belichick in New England do this for a number of years too, spending 2nd round picks on these quarterbacks. You can always turn around and trade them if somebody's really desperate for a quarterback and Michael Penix is lighting up preseason or he has a couple fill-in starts. He looks great. Somebody wants to offer you a 1st round pick in the future for him, whatever. Or again, you could turn around the 3rd year and trade Cousins. Again, I don't fully understand it. I'm with you, but if you're the new regime in Atlanta, you can say, look, if that does become a problem 2 years from now, that's a great problem to have. We all see Penix as the most NFL ready quarterback in this class too. He's a little bit older. We can see, again, the maturity, the arm talent. It felt like if anyone was going to be able to step in for an organization that really needed a quarterback, it was him. And starting week 1, I thought that was going to be Penix.
Here's the thing about Cousins. He's in a no-win situation. He really is. because, that's why we need to feel sorry for Kirk Cousins here. The second he struggles there, the second he has a bad game, throws a pick, they're going to be calling for Michael Penix to come in the game immediately. And I'm telling you, when they play indoors on that fast track that they're in, and that first game that Penix comes in like a preseason game, and he's going to make a throw that Kirk Cousins can't make, and there's really hardly anyone in the NFL that can make some of these throws. These fans down there are just going to be like, yeah, let's have that guy instead of the nerdy quarterback, the dad quarterback. Okay.
Yep. And it makes sense. You spent a top 10 pick on him. The fans are going to want to see him.
Yeah.
And so you're right. It's not a great spot for Kirk Cousins. Coming off an Achilles injury, by the way, going to be 36 years old this year. Has always been, yes, a solid but not elite NFL quarterback. There's probably some debate out there. Again, you could dig into the numbers and say he's been better than the average perception, but still, he's not in the prime of his career, that's for sure. And again, coming off a major injury, so you're right. It's okay. I think it's natural for Kirk Cousins and his camp to be a little frustrated and perplexed by this whole thing,
especially when the reports are. For people who don't know, they called him apparently while they were on the clock to make the pick. Hey, Kurt, yeah, we're gonna draft a quarterback here. Sorry, bud. I mean, anyone would be pissed off, man, about hearing that.
Yeah, for sure. Again, especially when you got a top 10 pick, you go to this situation thinking, oh, this is a young ascending team, a new coach ready to take off. Now we got top 10 pick to help us. And no, we're building for the future. Again, I think Brett Favre can relate to that.
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers too, right? And that's the Green Bay thing, and that's worked for them. Can it work for Atlanta? I guess we're about to find out.
Where do you think they don't have? You guys will be back over there today. You can check out all the coverage, SeattleTimes.com. Follow Jude, follow Bob Condotta there on social media. They'll be out there with the second round and day 2 getting underway. They don't have a second round pick. They'll have that third round pick at 81st overall. I think they'll try to get in the second round. Do you think it's necessary they need to get back there, or do they say, hey, we view it as Leonard Williams was our second round pick?
Yeah, I think that's how you have to approach it coming in. It depends on the costs, right? Do they have to give up something next year, to move in? They just don't have a ton of draft capital to work with in this draft. There's always a way. Of course, there's always a way. So if there's a guy that's available that they love, they have to have, the opportunity should be there to pounce. Again, it's just the acquisition costs. You got to do those calculations and future value and all that stuff too. So it is a long time to wait if you're John Schneider. He was even bemoaning that last night. Bob Condotta asked about it, and he said, "Yeah, thanks for the reminder, Bob." And it's a long, not all the way to pick 81 here. So again, if they're not able to move back in and they have to wait all the way to 81, yes, then you celebrate that Leonard Williams pick and then re-signing and you can live with that, but it'll be a long time to wait for Seahawks.
Where do you think they turn their attention? Is it just we're going line, or? I mean, that's what I want. They got 6 picks remaining, right? Let me make sure my math is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I want it spent all on offensive linemen. Is it? It can't. That's it.
I'm gonna make one bold prediction that they don't do that, but
that's what I want.
They need some beef. They need some muscle. Certainly the offensive line, Damian Lewis is gone, good for him for signing a mega contract.
Unbelievable.
That he got. That's where they need to beef up. At the same time, they're going to probably still pick the best guy on their board, whether that's offense, defense, it's, if it's true that they were trying to trade up for Michael Penix, maybe they're still looking for a third quarterback. And if there's a guy that they really love, it's a great value in the middle rounds. Like I wouldn't think John Schneider would hesitate at that. So yeah, I do think everything is a possibility, knowing that offensive line once again is still very much in need for them.
Yeah, because you look at offensive line, it's what stinks about this year's draft is that it doesn't appear, at least the people that follow it closely, doesn't appear to be a good year for inside linebackers. They've got a void at linebackers. I mean, they've got 2 guys there. They signed a 1-year deal, so they're not all that committed to those guys. So, but it doesn't seem like it's very strong there. They really don't need help in the secondary. I mean, I guess safety. I guess you could probably look at safety is to add.
Yeah, there's plenty, and again, especially with new coach, a new defensive scheme. We don't know exactly what he's looking for.
Yeah.
The Seahawks scouts and the front office, they're still trying to marry up, skill talents with scheme. And so, they might take a flyer on a couple guys like, hey, this guy is some upside, or he fits kind of the profile of what they're looking for in this new defensive scheme. And again, even a position where we might look at it as a position where they have decent depth right now, or it's not a position of need. Again, they don't always look at it the same way. So I think the full playbook is open going into the next.
Hey, going back to Penix for a second, did you wonder, like I did, why he was wearing 3D glasses at his draft party? What was
Maybe
that?
They were watching a movie, yeah. I mean, the kids these days, man. Who am I to say? I've got a teenage daughter.
What the hell was
she's
that?
Constantly looking at me sideways. So, no good for him, man. I have no idea.
Do you love? How old is your daughter? My daughter's 14.
Yeah, we're 15. She just
15.
finished her driver's course yesterday.
Yeah.
Doing tests.
You know what I love when they come down from the stairs, from their bedroom, and you just say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Why do you ask? I don't know. Just seeing how your day is.
Yeah.
You gonna have a good day at school? I'm gonna have a fine day. I'm just a little late right now. If you stop talking to me, I'll be able to go to school. Okay.
Sounds about right.
We'll see you later.
Yeah.
And here's another thing about these girls, about these teenage girls. Here's what I don't understand. It's on this thing, okay, this phone. Can they not text? Can they everything that they want to say, if they want to ask for something, or say, hey, can you pick me up? Whatever it is. Can they just not put it all in one text, like a paragraph? Why do I have to get this? Dad, and then it's sent. Dad, sent. Dad, sent. Can, sent. You, sent. Pick, sent. Me. Just write it all in one thing. Why do they do I need to write 15 text messages in a row? Why?
Do you have your sound on too? Does it ping you?
No, you know what?
That's only a Larry Stone thing. Yeah.
This is why I have turned it off, because I did, and it would just be constantly, and I'm like, for the love of God, write whatever you want in like a notes and then send that.
Yes.
Why did I just? I don't know. I don't get it.
That's the plight of a middle-aged father, right? we're not meant to understand our teenage daughters.
Yes. And then lastly, I'm going to tell you right now, I can't wait to hang out with Byron Murphy's family. I'm going to tell you that right now. Oh, Murphy's family, I'm in. First of all, that dad's outfit, that Gucci, that short suit he had on, I'm buying one. I'm buying one. It's $1,000.
Wow.
$1,000. All right. What about you? You and me will show up next year at the draft with that.
We did the Royal Tenenbaums red Adidas tracksuit. It was like our theme. We do a theme for the holidays every year for Christmas, and so my wife just randomly ordered it for the whole family this past year. So that was our thing, and so I think I pulled it off all right. So,
I think you'd.
I think Seahawks fans are going to like Murphy. Just we get 15 minutes in a conference call with him right after the pick. And he said all the right things. Said he grew up rooting for the Legion of Boom. He was a Seahawks guy, knew about Michael Bennett and listed off about 10 Seahawks players. And I think he's thrilled to be here. Obviously, anyone's thrilled to be picked in the first round. But personality-wise, the fit, he's only 21 still, a lot of room to grow. And I think Seahawks fans are going to like him.
Adam Jude, thank you. Have fun at the draft. SeattleTimes.com, day 2. They'll be over there. Bob Condotta, the entire crew at the Seattle Times. You can check this out anywhere. YouTube, obviously, leave a comment below. Follow Puck Sports. Please like and subscribe there. Also at pucksports.com. And, of course, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you find your podcast. Thanks, Jude. Appreciate it.
Good stuff, Bucks.